It's Tuesday, the 9th of March 2021. Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business Headlines, the business news you need in just 5 minutes. I'm Sean Aylmer. In today's headlines, the federal government readies a rescue package for the tourism industry, including cash handouts and low-rate loans. Plus, Wall Street, European markets and the ASX surge on the back of big spending in the US. Bitcoin gets a surprise supporter, and rumours of a takeover of Treasury Wine Estates sends its share price running. Our lead story for today, the federal government is set to announce low-interest loans and cash grants to support tourism-related businesses hit hard by the coronavirus pandemic. They'll be switched on when JobKeeper ends at the end of this month, according to reports in Nine Media. The package will include support for airlines, small tourist service operators and accommodation outlets, and it will also include incentives to drive demand rather than just prop up operators. Travel and tourism have been decimated during the pandemic. There's been a drop of 41 million domestic passenger airline flights over the past 12 months, with closures of both international and state borders hitting operators. Tourism was supposed to be worth around $130 billion last year. Instead, it was worth not much more than $20 billion, according to Tourism Australia. The number of holidaymakers and students have been particularly hard hit. The media report said direct cash payments to businesses hit hardest will be part of the package, along with government-backed loans. The announcement is part of a broader package which will include another $1.2 billion in wage subsidies for apprentices and changes to migration rules to fill areas of workforce shortages. The full announcement on tourism from the government is likely within the next week. While picking specific sectors to support isn't always great economics, these are unusual times, and the tourism industry, a gem in the Australian economy, needs all the help it can get. In overseas news, in both Europe and the US, the $1.9 trillion stimulus package from the Biden administration has supported markets. Wall Street was higher outside the tech stocks, while European markets had a strong session across the region. The local ASX ended 0.4% higher yesterday. Bitcoin has gained the influential support of Citi, one of the world's most powerful investment banks. Citi said the cryptocurrency was the next great technological shift after the internet and cloud computing. Bitcoin could overtake the US dollar as the main international trade currency, while the cryptocurrency will increasingly be available for use in savings and lending accounts. 1 unit of Bitcoin is currently worth around $51,000. China's top diplomat said the United States needed to stop interfering and finger-pointing and called on Japan and India to cooperate with Beijing in the region. The diplomat said it was better for countries to be friends rather than enemies. Former President Donald Trump's last bid to overturn last November's election, yes, he's still trying, has been rejected by the US Supreme Court when it said it would refuse to consider a challenge to the election results in Wisconsin. And Bloomberg has done the numbers on Elon Musk. The founder and chief executive of Tesla lost $27 billion last week as the share price of the electric vehicle company tumbled. He still has $160 billion hanging around, so don't feel too bad for him. He's now at number 2 on the Bloomberg billionaires list behind Amazon's Jeff Bezos, who's $20 billion richer. Locally, shares in Treasury Wine Estates rose sharply yesterday after rumours circulated that French drinks giant Pernod Ricard was mulling a takeover bid for the group. Treasury, owner of the Penfolds brand, has had a tough 6 months since China put prohibitive tariffs on wine imports. Westpac has lifted its economic growth forecast for 2021 to 4.5%, up from 4%. The bank's chief economist Bill Evans said the key components of the official economic growth figures released last week surprised on the upside, including household consumption, business investment and dwelling construction. Mr. Evans expects the economy to be back to pre-pandemic levels by the end of this quarter. The value of China's imports from Australia hit a record high of $20.5 billion in January and February, despite the bans and high tariffs on products from wine to barley, beef and coal. The reason for the 8% jump during the 2 months was high iron ore prices. One of the federal government's key COVID-19 rescue strategies for small and medium-sized businesses was to guarantee some bank loans, but fewer than 3,000 new loans worth less than $300 million have been approved since August last year. Borrowers have blamed extra rules imposed by the banks for the slow take-up. And finally, Mexican restaurant chain Guzman y Gomez said annual sales would eventually reach up to $3 billion as it opens 30 to 40 stores a year in Australia and pushes into Singapore, Japan, and the US. Sales this year would hit around $400 million, according to a report in the Financial Review. The group is considering a float on the ASX and says its philosophy that fast food doesn't have to be bad food is winning over customers. That's the Fear and Greed business headlines for today. Make sure you've hit subscribe so you don't miss out. There's also more in today's full Fear and Greed podcast, including an interview with Mercer Pacific's Chief Investment Officer about their shift to sustainable investments. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your day.